Hi guys, and welcome to a new video. In today's video, as you can already see on the screen, we will talk about the binomial formulas. More precisely, we will look at the first binomial formula, at the second binomial formula, and at the third binomial formula. And we will also have a look at a geometrical illustration of each formula. And I think those illustrations really help to understand the formulas better. Okay, so let's start. First of all, what are the formulas about? We already have the word binom in the name. So what is a binom? You know probably the word bi, this is Latin and stands for two. So a binom just is a polynomial that is made out of two parts. For example, a binom would be x plus y, because x plus y, this is a polynomial made by two parts. The parts are x and y. Or also x squared plus y squared, that would also be a binomial. Or p plus x. Or 3xy plus a squared. Those are all binomials. The important thing is that they are polynomial which have two parts. Here, for example, the 3xy and the a square. So the binomial formulas, they probably have something to do with such kind of terms. And what the binomial formulas do is they help us when we have a multiplication of two binomials. We will start with the first binomial formula. So the first binomial formula gives us an answer to what happens if we have a plus b squared. A plus b, we see our binom, and I said the binomial formulas, they deal with a product of two binomials. And this is exactly what we have, because a plus b squared is the same as a plus b times a plus b. So you see, we have a product of two binomials, and the binomials are a plus b. So we have a product of the two same binomials. What is this? You know how we deal with that. We have to multiply everybody with everybody. So we have to multiply a with a with b with a, and b with b. And then what do we get? We do get a times a plus a times b plus b times a plus b times b. And this is the same as a square plus a b plus a b plus b square. And then we have here ab, so we can put them together to a square plus 2ab plus b square. This basically is the first binomial formula. If we have a look here, this is written in the books. So the first binomial formula is a plus b square, which we did here, is this expression. It's a square plus 2ab plus b square. And this is exactly what we get. Whenever we have an expression like this, we could of course always do this, but as this is kind of common, we can just remember the formula and directly write it like that. We do not need to do that every time. Okay, so next let's look at this graphic here. Let's say that this line here has the length a. So the blue square would have the area a square. And let's say this part here, let's say this length is b. So the yellow square would have the area b square. Then what do we get for the green rectangles? Here we have a, here we have b. So this would be a times b. And for the other as well, b, a, so it's also a times b. Okay, what does this have to do with our binomial formula? Let's have a look at the orange square. What is the length? Here we have A and here we have B. So here we have A plus B. And here we also have A and B. So here we have also the length A plus B. So the area of this orange rectangle, which is A plus B square, it's the same as all these rectangles inside, which is A square plus 2 times AB plus B square. And this is exactly here our binomial formula. So this just visualizes the first binomial formula. Good, so let's continue with the second binomial formula. So in the second binomial formula, we also, of course, have a product of two binoms. But this time, we look at this binom, A minus B. So A minus B square is the same as A minus B times A minus B. Okay, and now what do we do? Same as here, multiply everybody with everybody. So A with A with minus B. Please also take the sign here. Then here minus B with the sign times A and minus B times minus B. Always with the sign. Okay, so what is this? We get A times A minus, from here, A times B minus B times A minus B times minus B, which is plus B times B. Okay, and we can rewrite that as A square minus AB minus AB plus B square. Then we can, of course, put the two AB's together, which then is A square minus 2AB plus B square. So if you look into your school books, this here is considered the second binomial formula, which is A minus B square is equal to A square minus 2AB plus B square, which we just here derived. Okay, so here, of course, I also have a little image. So if we now have a look at this image, let's say here now this side is A. So the blue square has the area A square. Okay. And now let's say here, this would be the length B. So this square has the area B square. Then the question is, what is now the green rectangle? So one green rectangle has, this is the circumference of the green rectangle. We have here the length B and here the length A. So the area of the green rectangle would be A times B. And this rectangle has the same. You have here B, here we have A. So we would also have the area A times B. Okay, now let's have a look at this orange rectangle. What is this length? What do we have? Well, we have here A, we have here B. So this length then is A minus B. And what do we have here? We have A, we have B. So this length also is A minus B. So the area of the orange rectangle is A minus B squared. What does this has to do with our binomial formula? Well, we see now A minus B squared. So this rectangle is the same as our whole a squared, which we have here. But then we have to subtract something. We have to subtract minus 2ab, which are the two green rectangles. But if we subtract from a square 2 times the green rectangle, well, then we subtracted 2 times b squared. So we have to add 1b squared again in order to get this formula. Okay, so let's continue with the third binomial formula. What binoms do we look at if we talk about the third binomial formula? Well, we kind of combine those twos, meaning that we once have the plus sign, a plus b, and we multiply it by this binom here, by a minus b. From here we can continue normally. We just multiply everybody with everybody. So a with a with minus b, take care of the signs, then b with a and b with minus b. And then what do we get? We get a times a minus a times b plus b times a minus b times b. This is the same as a squared minus a times b plus a times b minus b squared. And now we can see we have minus a times b plus a times b, which is 0. So we get as a final result a square minus b square. And this is exactly what is the third binomial formula. A plus b times a minus b is the same as a squared minus b squared. So whenever we have something like a plus b times a minus b, we do not have to do this calculation all over again. We can just use a square minus b square. Okay, of course I also have an image here for the third binomial formula. The image is a little bit more complicated, but we will go through it slowly. So we have things that we already know here from above. We have here an a square. So this, as we already know, has the area a square. What else do we have? We have again here our b, so this is b square. And we once again have here our length b, here our length a, so this green rectangle has the area once again a times b. Okay, so we could now put this whole thing, copy it once and flip it and put it here. So this would still have the area a times b, and this still has the area b squared. So now why do we do this? Now we have a look at this big orange rectangle. What are the lengths? So what is this length? This length is as here above. Here we have length a, here we have length b. This length is a minus b. Okay, and now what is this length? Here we have a, here we have b. So this length, this whole length is a plus b. So the area is a minus b times a plus b. What does this have to do with our binomial formula here? So this rectangle, here the formula says it's the same as a squared minus b squared. How can we see that here in the image? This one is the same as a squared, which is the big rectangle. A squared not only is this big blue rectangle, a square. If we copy this down here, then a square also is the same as this part and this downer part. We just flip this one here and we still have a square. So this is still a square. And then if we have a look at this nearly is our orange rectangle, but we still have this part which we don't want. So we have to subtract from this a square this little part which is b square. So then we understand, or then we see that this rectangle is the same as a square, which is this part, minus b square, which is this part. And this is exactly here the binomial formula. So whenever we have something like this, or something like this, we do not have to make all those calculations. We can just use the rules here. And as such kind of expressions, they occur very often when you do math. So it's really worth to know those formula, because then you're way quicker and you also make less mistakes. I also want to point out it's important to not only remember the binomial formulas in one way. So do not only remember from here to here, from here to here, from here to here. Also remember, if you have a square plus 2ab plus b square, you could put it into such an expression. So this is really useful if you have to factorize, or if you have to look for the 0 points, for example. So please also remember a square minus 2ab plus b square, you can put it in such a factorized way. Or also if you have something like that, you can put it into a factorized way, and then you can easily, for example, find the 0 points. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention. I really hoped you liked the video. I hoped you learned something. If you liked it, if you learned something, feel free to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you still have any questions, please leave a comment below. You can also have a look, if you want to, into the description box, because here you can find those notes in case you want to revise it. I hope I see you in the next video. Bye!